Welcome to this explainer. You're probably staring at a sad, wilting houseplant right now, totally frustrated, wondering what on earth you did wrong. Well, take a deep breath, don't panic. Today, we're going to approach your struggling plant not with stress, but with a cool, calm, and collected diagnostic mindset.
Why is my plant dying even though I water it? Honestly, this is the absolute most common beginner frustration. Today, we're going to crack this case by treating your plant exactly like a patient visiting a doctor. Because, as you're going to see, sometimes that water you're pouring on it, that's exactly what's causing the problem.
Here is our triage roadmap for today. Number 1, listen to your plant. Number 2, start with the soil. Number 3, diagnosing by symptoms. And number 4, when to save your plant. Let's start with section 1. Listen to your plant. Plants are surprisingly honest.
Having a dying plant feels deeply personal, right? Kind of like a failure. But the really good news here is that plants are incredibly honest communicators. The symptom you're staring at usually points straight to the cause, once you know what to look for, that is. So instead of guessing or just desperately pouring more water on it hoping for a miracle, we're going to rely strictly on direct visual cues to pinpoint exactly what's going wrong.
Moving to section 2. Start with the soil. Checking the vital signs. Okay, before you even start worrying about the leaves, we absolutely must check the soil. Why? Because most beginner plant deaths actually trace right back to watering problems. This just requires a crucial 5-second check. Step 1, literally just feel the top 2 inches of soil. Does it feel like a soggy sponge that never dries out, or is it dust dry, maybe even pulling away from the sides of the pie? If your plant is really struggling, you need to move to steps 2 and 3. Carefully slide that plant right out of its pot and actually look at the roots. Firm, white, or tan roots, those are healthy. But if you see brown, soft, smelly roots, man, that means trouble.
And that brings us to a fatal condition known as root rot. You've got to rule out root rot first before you change anything else, because frequent watering is usually the cause of death, not the cure. Constantly wet soil literally suffocates the roots. They can't pull in oxygen, so they just drown, turn to brown mush, and start to smell.
Now for section 3, diagnosing by symptoms, matching the visual cue to the cause. Now that we've checked the vitals below ground, let's move into our rapid-fire symptom checker to diagnose what's happening above the soil. Here's a quick cheat sheet for the primary suspects you'll likely encounter. Yellow leaves usually point straight to overwatering. A mushy base means root rot. Crispy edges highlight dry air or plain old thirst, and if you see webbing or sticky spots, well, that's a clear sign of pests. Let's look at the fascinating logic we apply to drooping plants. A droopy plant looks thirsty, right? So our natural instinct is just to give it a drink. But you need to use this if-then logic. Dry soil plus drooping? It just needs a drink, and honestly, it'll perk right back up in a few hours. However, drooping combined with wet soil? Stop watering immediately. The roots are completely compromised at that point, and they physically can't move water up into the plant anymore. You need to check for rot.
Moving on to yellow leaves. This is probably the #1 most asked about symptom out there. Now, don't panic over a single yellow leaf at the very bottom of an otherwise happy plant. That's literally just old age. But widespread yellowing, especially with soft stems and wet soil, that is an SOS signal. It's a massive visual cue that your plant's roots have been sitting in wet soil for way too long and they are starving for oxygen.
You also want to pay super close attention to brown spots because texture really matters here. Papery, crispy tips, which are super common in tropical plants like ferns, mean you need to bump up the humidity and get your watering on a steady schedule. But if you touch it and feel a hard, scorched patch, that's sunburn. You'll almost always find it right on the side facing a bright window, which means you need to pull it back out of that direct sunlight.
Spots can be a little tricky to decode, so you kind of have to play detective. Look super closely at the color, the shape, and see if they're actually spreading. Dark brown or black spots with a little yellow halo around them often mean overwatering or some kind of fungal or bacterial disease. A dusty white coating is usually powdery mildew, and just small, crisp brown spots? That might just be physical damage or scorch marks. Use these specific clues to confidently identify your culprit.
Now, if you feel a mushy base, you have a literal emergency on your hands. A soft, dark, mushy stem right at the soil line is a critical sign of rot. The rot has actually moved all the way up from the roots and reached the main stem. You have to take the plant out of that wet soil immediately to see if any firm tissue remains. Act fast and cut away the soft rotting tissue to try and save it.
Sometimes though, the plant isn't actually sick, It's under attack. If you spot invaders, isolate your plant straight away so they don't spread. Keep an eye out for fine webbing between stems, which means spider mites. Little white cotton specks, those are mealybugs. Tiny silvery streaks on the leaves are from thrips. And if you touch the leaves and they feel sticky, that's a massive red flag for a general pest attack. Remember, always check the undersides of the leaves. That's their absolute favorite hiding spot.
But what if your plant isn't rotting and it isn't infested, but it just looks, well, stretched out and sad? We call this leggy growth. Long, stretched out stems with big gaps between tiny, pale leaves mean the plant is literally starved of light, and it's desperately reaching for the sun. If you see this, the fix is super easy. Just move it to a brighter window and the new growth will tighten right back up.
Which brings us to section 4, when to save your plant, setting up the recovery protocol.
So, you've got your diagnosis, but how do you know if it's just too late to save the patient? Well, here is the really reassuring part. Unless every single stem is totally hollow or mushy and absolutely no firm roots are left, your plant is not dead. Seriously, if you have even one firm green stem left or just one solid white root, you have signs of life and something to work with.
To bring it back, you just need to follow this exact salvage protocol. Step 1, fix the underlying cause you just diagnosed. Step 2, get some scissors and trim away what is clearly dead so the plant stops wasting its precious energy trying to keep it alive. Step 3, provide really stable light and water conditions. And step 4, wait patiently. Recovery takes weeks, so don't give up on it. Oh, and a quick aside, remember that repotting is super stressful for a plant. Only root rot, soil pests, or a pot with zero drainage require you to repot it right away. Otherwise, just let the poor thing rest.
You now have all the diagnostic tools you need to decode those desperate symptoms. You know how to read the leaves, check the soil, and spot those sneaky pests. So go check that soil, confidently administer some first aid, and get your plant back on the path to recovery. But I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know your plant is constantly communicating its needs to you, what is your plant telling you right now? Are you ready to listen?